Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm hopping along with the Pootlers. So I'm part of a bigger team called the Pootlers. I own a little team of flutterbys come to me, and then I report into the Pootlers. And today we're doing a hop based around Celebration. So this is a fabulous time of year when you get free stuff for buying what you might have bought anyway. So for every £45 that you spend, you get a Celebration reward, and some are one reward, like these, this lovely stamp set of Otters. Others are two rewards, so they're for a £90 spend. But if you spend £90, you can choose two what we call level 1 rewards. Anyway, this is what I'm using. This is one of the stamp sets called Awesome Otters, which is really cute little otter characters. And the other one I'm using is this lovely Simply Marvellous 6x6 DSP, and it just has some lovely colours in it, as you can see there. Lovely blues, so Misty Moonlight and Balmy Blue. We've got some fabulous basic grey in there, going through to kind of really dark greys. This is one of my favourites, Blushing Bride and Flirty Flamingo. We've got some Bumblebee and So Saffron in there. So on the one side it's sort of slightly more muted and a sort of a typical marble effect, whereas this is more marbling that you get from an ink effect. Coastal Cabana and Pool Party, as you can see there, and then Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. So fabulous colours, and there you go. You've got 6 different colours, double-sided designs, 48 sheets in a pack. So 4 each of the 6 designs. So. Is that 4 each? Yes, I think it's 4 each. I'll double check. Anyway, this is the card I'm making. So you can see it's birthday time. Great sentiment. This one I've actually used Pacific Point in there because I felt it worked well, on a balmy blue background. And then the fun starts when you open it. You know me, I love a fun fold. This is a really simple one, but it's a wow factor. Look. There we go. So you've got a lovely little panel here, one for your sentiment, and you've got 2 floating panels from the top there, as you can see. So when it stands, it's great. Great card for anyone. I've deliberately designed it so that when it's kind of open, those panels are visible. But when it's closed, you've got this lovely cute one on the front. So let's get started. Before I do, don't forget to hop along with the others. So you'll find the links to the other videos are on my blog. So if you go into the description bar below this video, click on the first one, the first link, which will take you to this post, and from there you can then visit all the others. So you'll get loads of inspiration on what you can spend your pennies on and what you can earn in Celebration. So there we go. Awesome Otters, great fun. I'm going to use one of the other colourways for this, and I thought what nicer one than kind of sea shades with Pool Party. So I'm using Pool Party and Coastal Cabana. I have done some of the cutting in advance just to make life easier, so we can concentrate on the stamping. Yeah, so there we go. So what I have got is you're going to have 2 panels. So these are the main panels for the inside as well. Okay, so the panel for the front is it is 8.5 by 5.5 of your card, so 8 by 5 for your basic white. So that's for our little lying down otter, and I forgot to show you on that one. I've even added a little wink of Stella to the fish, so hopefully you can see the fish has a little bit of shine on him as well. Okay, so that's for our panel. Then the 2 inner panels are 6.5 by 6.5, and you want 2 of those, and so you want 2 pieces of 6 by 6, and those are for our other 2 images. And then the 2 for the sentiments are 6.5 by 5 centimetres, so 6 by 4.5 for those as well. And obviously we're just going to stamp one of those with our little hat if you want to, and we're going to stamp our sentiment as well. So I've got them already mounted onto blocks. Because I'm using stamping blends to colour, or that's what I used, so I'm going to be stamping in Memento for most of these. In fact, I will for all of them. So I'm going to do my sentiment stamping first, because that's the bit I struggle most with, getting it straight. You can always do this on a scrap of paper if you want to. That actually isn't too bad for me. I'll take that one. So again, usual tap, tap, tap. And pop our otter on the front there. I'm going to do my next little image and just keep that slightly down towards the bottom to have that sort of C image. And then my lovely kind of cheeky one as well. There we go. And then for the other one, I'm going to grab some Coastal Cabana and my little hat. Now, because I've used all my blocks up on various projects, I'm going to use one which isn't the perfect size. I'd normally use a B block for this, but I'm in the middle of doing a number of projects, so I'm just going to use another block that I have which isn't the right size. So there's our You Are Utterly Awesome, and I'm going to grab my hat as well. And have a hat in the top corner and one just in the bottom there. Okay, let's pop the ink away. So this panel I'm going to leave blank because I want that to be used for my writing my message in. So now we can start with our colouring. So the colours I'm actually going to use, so for the water, I've got my 2 shades of Pool Party. I've got some Smoky Slate for my fish, and then I've got light and dark Crumb Cake and dark soft suede for my otters. So with all of these, I tend to, I'm not the greatest colourer of all, but I do my best. So I'm actually going to come in with the lightest shade for the tummy. I perhaps could have used ivory for this, but I didn't. I can't remember why. It seemed like a good idea at the time. So I'm going to just do all of these tummies because I want them to be obviously similar colour. So I'm just using a little circular motion, getting plenty of ink in there, so I can then come with some dark Crumb Cake and just go around the edge there. With those, and again I'm just using the brush tip on these. So the great thing about these is they have both a brush and a bullet tip, so you can do really detailed work on them, or you can still have a much softer brush effect. And I'm just going to come in with the brush tip of the light Crumb Cake again and just blend those in. So, and just there we go. And then I'm going to use my dark Crumb Cake and dark soft suede for my otter. So I'm actually going to do the paws in the kind of darker colour and sort of outline as well. So Must have come in like so. Let's grab my crumb cake. In fact, I might actually use, what did I use? I think I might have used my light crumb cake, thinking about it, looking at that now. So actually, let's do light crumb cake. Because I've added that darker shade in, it obviously will contrast with the tummy. And that, looking at those dark ones, they were just really quite dark. So here we go. Right, let's concentrate on one at a time. So let's have a look at my dark crumb cake coming in here. And again, you know, you can vary this quite a bit. So I'm going to kind of come around the outside edge because that would be kind of in the shadows a little bit. Just blend those in. That's it. And obviously by adding an extra layer of that, you're adding a bit of extra colour as well. There we go. And I'm going to just come in with my smoky slate on my little fish there. And I'm going to come in with the bullet tip, I think, just to do the little paws. And I'm just going to add a little bit of grey onto the nose there. In fact, while I've got that out, I'll do all of those noses in grey as well. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of dark soft suede and blend that in a little bit. So as I say, you can really sort of come in and as much and as little as you want. I probably should have done some of the colouring on these before perhaps I videoed, but as I say, it's just nice to sort of see a little bit different, and I could have gone a little bit lighter on the tummy maybe. But anyway, all I'm going to do now is grab my light pool party with the brush and just, it looks like I need to get a new pool party fairly soon. As that's starting to look a little bit sketchy. Oh yes. So I think that one is not bad, though. Okay, so while I've got that out, I might even need to use my bullet tip by the looks of it. So I'm just going to again go, yes, this is definitely on its, I'm just going to go over and get some colour, some really pale colour here, and this one might end up being a little bit darker than my others. And so I'm going to come in, and on each of these I'm just going to use my darker colour to go over where those waves are, those little splash marks. And then I can use again my pool party just to add in. There we go. And in fact, as it's, might just have to, let's hope. Yeah, there we go. We're just going to add some little outline, sort of hint of background in the back there. And then I'm going to use a different colour, obviously, to create my grass effect on the ground. So what I'm going to do is just come in with a little bit of old olive. Ooh. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of grass and just do a few sort of sprigs of grass there. And what I'm actually going to do is grab my colour lifter, and I'm going to lift some colour on the tummy that I made a little bit dark there, just to lighten it. And then I'm going to use that on here as well, just round the edges to help blend that, like so. Okay, so now on to colouring my other two otters. So again, keeping with those same palettes, coming with my light crumb cake first of all. Then I'm going to use my dark soft suede just in those kind of creases, perhaps on the tip, and just in those shadow kind of spots in the corner there. And then my dark crumb cake I use just to go a little bit darker around here. Hint of this bit. And then finally come in again with, and just blend those. And I say, don't be afraid to kind of saturate the card. They are designed for that. And then say, come in, add a little bit more colour if you want. You have to remember that obviously the shades, vary tremendously on animals. So there we go. And I was saying, if ever you think you've gone a little bit on the dark side on something, just come in with your colour lifter. And what this actually does is it just lightens that tummy, lifts it, pushes the colour through. So 1, 2, and then the final one that we've got. So in fact, let's go all out. I'm going to do dark crumb cake on this. In fact, I'm going to even use the bullet tip a little bit on here, because this is quite a much smaller piece. There we go. I'm not doing much talking today. Oh well, there we go. Let's just add some darker shades around the edge there. Perhaps that was the colour I used originally. And I'll just use my light crumb cake, a little bit like the colour lifter, but just to blend that in. So there we have our 3 little characters. Okay, so those are all ready to mount onto our layers. So use whatever glue you prefer. Easy grab some Tombow if you've got time to allow it to dry. I would always recommend though that you give it, if you're making anything that's manoeuvrable, that you give it time to sort of settle. I have been known to make a card before now and then suddenly find that when I come to put it together, because I've pushed the layers to one side, I've literally made them a little bit skewiff. So just a word of warning there. There we go. And our final one. it's not at all our final one, is it? Because I've got my other layers as well. Duh. Half asleep still this morning. There we go. In fact, I don't know why I'm using this, because I've got my seal in front of me, which would be the sensible one to use, wouldn't it? Oh no, that's my seal plus. Oh no, I've actually got an old snail. Right, okay. So those are our layers to go on. So now let's actually do our card. So construction time. If I pop those to one side while those are drying. Okay. And what you'll need is you'll need your trimmer. Okay. And the card base is really simple. It's a simple gatefold card. So this is 20 by 14.5 centimetres, and you're just going to score at 5 on each side. So quite simple, 5 on each side. And if you just come just a tiny fraction under, because if that will just mean that it'll meet in the middle nicely. I shall leave my trimmer again in a moment. And what I mean is just bring that together. Grab your bone folder. And make sure those are nicely layered up. Okay. Then you're going to need some layers for the front. Now, as I've said, I have cut some of these already. So we've got 2 pieces here, which are 14 by 4.5, which are going to go onto the front there. And I just need to cut my DSP as well. So these are going to be 4 centimetres by 15. So I'm going to cut a piece at 8 centimetres, keeps me a nice big piece, by 13.5, that's that ½ centimetre smaller. Again, the scraps are always useful, and then just cut that at 4 centimetres to get our 2 panels. So those are going to land there. And I love this because it felt to me like it was a little bit like the water effect. Now for the mechanisms, you just want 2 pieces of card. These are 12 centimetres in length. And you are going to score them both at 2.5, at 6, at 8.5. So again, 2.5, at 6, at 8.5. Okay. So we'll put these 2 layers together. Again, grabbing whatever glue you happen to have to hand. I say my seal, I've only got my seal plus in front of me, so I'm not quite sure what I've done with that. It will no doubt reappear as soon as I've finished filming. Probably buried under a block where I've put them to keep them out of the way. Okay, and those 2 pieces go straight onto the front of our card. So, and because I'm not worrying about pattern matching on this at all, I'm just giving it a sort of real feel. So there we've got our piece of card. So now you want your 2 mechanisms. And this is why I say it's really easy, because you're making a little block that's going to go in here. And the easy thing with this one is that we're not having any overlap, because we want to keep our card as thin as possible. So those 2 are going to come in at the top here, and one at the bottom here. And again, you don't have to be precise. You really don't need to worry about getting it absolutely exact, because it's smaller than the piece of card. So you're coming in just off the score line, like so, and you're putting the glue on one of those larger sections. Okay. Okay. Then folding it down. I've obviously not been as accurate on my cutting on that one. I'm just going to trim that just a fraction. And these are where the two tabs are going to end up. So this is coming onto this section here. So glue and fold, create our tab. And again, just add your glue and just fold in like so. And then all that remains is for us to add our two images onto there as well. So the only thing you need to watch here is to decide where they're going to be. So I just make sure that they don't clash in the middle. So I'm putting them just 1/2 centimetre up. There we go. And that way you get a nice gap in between. And you can pop your sentiment in line with this one. So open it up and line it up. Same here. Card open, line that up. It folds flat, and all we need to do is add some dimensionals onto the back here. And again, only on the one side, so flip it over, just work out which side it is, and you're just going to add some dimensionals along the centre, just off to the side. And with your card closed, just centre that. The last thing left to do is to add a little sparkle to my little fish. So there you have a fun card using our lovely Celebration Otterly Awesome, or Awesome Otters, sorry, Awesome Otters, and our lovely Simply Marvellous paper. Which do you prefer? Coastal Cabana, Pacific Point? I don't know, I think both of them are lovely, and I think they're great for all, not just kids, but for adults too. Thanks for watching. Please do visit my blog. Please hop along with all the other participants as well, and if you've got the time to leave a comment, people would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. All the links are either below this video or on my blog, so click along to those to go to my shop. Thanks for watching. Bye now.